You know, chasing is not easy. It's actually one of the hardest things that you can do when you're in a league format. Chasing is already tough enough knowing that you've got so much built up pressure with games in hand and you're counting the points and you have to try keep your team focused on what's happening now and not looking too far into the future. You know that you're about to be playing the guys you are chasing on Sunday. But the truth is that these are the games that you have to win. These are the games that you have to take care of in order to keep up the chase. I think what makes the chase even harder for Pirates right now is that you're up against a team that just keeps getting points after points, wins after wins, goal after goal after goal after goal. And that can be demoralizing. And I think what I saw this game is a Pirates team that maybe has given up on the league. They didn't have aggression. It didn't look like anybody wanted to take responsibility in the game. And even after Stellenbosch got that red card, it felt like the Pirates were still playing with the handbrake up. Now, when we get into the game, I'm going to start with Stellenbosch. I'm still unsure about what Stellenbosch plans to do with their attacking players. Cupido, who's meant to be a striker, was on the left-hand side. Well, was on the right-hand side. Right-hand side. Titus was on the left, obviously, because that's where he scored from last game. But Uti Yong playing as a central striker is not it. And I think Coach Barker has to figure out what he wants to do there because, you know, Pirates made a slight adjustment in defense, which I'll speak about just now. But that changed a lot of the game for Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch also need to learn some discipline, man. I know people will be saying refs are this or whatever, but when you look at their track record, when you look at how many red cards they give up in important games, or big games, let me call it a big game, you see that, man, Stellenbosch is shotanga something. In the second half, I saw Barnes playing as a striker. Yes, I understand the red card came about and you have to make some changes, but Barnes, last season's player with the most goal contributions, if I'm not mistaken, or he created the most chances last season, was running up and down at the top of the pitch, not doing anything. There's a Butsaka sub that they love to make that opens up the midfield, and I think that's what allowed Pirates to have a little bit more joy going forward, especially since Stellenbosch was missing that defensive edge of Abo Butsaka. But I think they did well after going down to 10 men to hold on and make sure that they don't lose that game and they frustrate Pirates. When it comes to Pirates, something very interesting happened. You know, I've been somebody who's been making a lot of noise about Van Rooyen and Hoto. And I've been saying that when you come into games, when you play Abo Stellenbosch, you can't have Abo Van Rooyen and Abo Hoto overlapping, Van Rooyen underlapping, because it opens up too many spaces, and that's where Titus scores the last time. But what was interesting about this game is that I think Jose came prepared and he had a plan, and he actually asked Van Rooyen and Hoto to be a lot more conservative in the way that they play. They weren't going up. But an unintended consequence of having those two not going up is that up top, Unkota now became overly predictable, and what Stellenbosch was doing was just smothering him with a double team. And unfortunately, because there's no support coming up, Unkota was forced to then try some things that didn't work out. He lost the ball quite a bit, but you can't blame him. He was in 2-on-1s. Utito had a similar thing happen to him when he came in the second half. But I think that exposed something. Okay, so I know I stopped the video a lot, and a lot of you are wondering, why are you asking for money? So I wanted to show you. I asked for money because I want to do more of this. But the truth of the matter is that it took over an hour in order just to render that shot. And it takes even longer when I'm doing my normal content because, guys, here's the unsung hero of the channel. And unfortunately, Shem, but the screen is broken. I have to use a second screen and the performance is not up to it. So I'd really love to upgrade things like that. And when you look over here, this is what the setup looks like. Rehenga di patlo and rehenga di green screen, which is a reality of being a South African content creator. Also, this is what people think is my studio. It's actually my house. So if you still don't know that I'm doing all of this from my home, then I don't know. But that is essentially what I want to do. More of these cool things. But I need you guys to please help me out by donating 50 Rand or more into this account. You know, we're fighting for multi-choice. And multi-choice, but there is subscription models all over the place. And I'd love to give the biggest quality while also being able to pay my rent and do things like that. That is where your money is going. And I promise to give you only the best content that I can if you do throw something in. So I just wanted to show you guys what I want to do with your money. I want to take this South African football and fulfill my dream of taking it into the future. But thank you guys so much. Remember, this is the bank account that you deposit into. Get back into the video. That you need Van Rooyen and Hotto to fly in order to create the spaces for Nkota to cut inside, for Nkota to have a supporting player to play the ball to, for Nkota to maybe be put into one-on-ones. But also more importantly, on the other side, if you don't have Hotto up, Umfukeng gets lost in the game. Now, I've said this plenty of times. Umfukeng is a great player, but he's still young and he still needs to work on his game outside of when Pirates is on top. The 20-25 minutes where Pirates is undoubtedly on top, he looks like the best player in the league. But for the rest of the 65 minutes that are left of that game, Umfukeng goes missing at times, especially since they were trying almost like playing him central, having a front two with Nkota wide. They didn't play too much on the left-hand side, but having Nkota wide and having a front two. If he's going to play that role, he needs to learn how to move more like a striker, because this was not a game for him to play 10. Speaking of the 10 position, I don't know what Coach Jose sees in Udlamini. I don't know why he keeps playing him there, because I think we all now understand, and we have understood for some weeks now, that Udlamini is an incredible secondary player. I wonder if there's the guy. Dlamini supports the guy very well. But when Dlamini is asked to be the creative hub, the center for Pirates, he doesn't have that in him. I was a little bit disappointed with Goodman Musole, no Makaula, but more Musele, because I was hoping that we could see some of that confidence on the ball that he showed in the other game when he came into Ndlondlo. Show some of that build-up, because at some point you could tell that Pirates is not going to get any joy up the wings. So it would have to be more central, the attack, or at the very least you'd have to go central before going wide. And none of the players in the middle were willing to take up that responsibility and take up that ball and play the ball up the middle. I think Pirates still plays too slow for me. The longer you hold the ball, the longer you hold the ball, the less you will see of Abumfukeng, Nabo Nkota, Nabo Mabasa. I think Pirates has chaos players. And when I call them chaos players, what I mean is that Pirates looks best on transition, with a defense that's facing its own goals, with a defense that's in 6s and 7s, where Abumfukeng can get one-on-ones. They can face players 1v1. And you see them shine in those situations. But the moment the other team is structured and they sit back and they're willing to just eat up the space, Pirates goes missing. And that is something that Coach Jose is going to have to work on. Funny enough, this might have been a game for Mahopa, who we have criticized quite a bit, but I think especially towards the end, he could have given you a lot more pressing, a lot more pressure. Taking out Abu Musele at that time, I don't think it was good subs by Coach Rivero. And there's a Shandu sub that there's one of my overthinkers, one of the chief overthinkers, Uvelile, always speaks about the Shandu sub. It used to be Shandu Monyane, now it's Shandu Van Rooyen, and it seems like it's a nothing sub. It's just there for nothing. In fact, you could argue that Van Rooyen, even from that deeper role he was playing, was giving way more passes centrally inside to the attacking players and letting them get to the final third. So taking him out was a little bit interesting. But I just want to end off by saying that, you know, by hook or by crook, Pirates needs to learn how to get past these humps. Pirates needs to learn how to do it consistently. Pirates needs to learn how to not only wake up for the cup games, not only wake up for do or die games. This was a do or die game versus Stellenbosch on an athlone pitch that had rugby played on this weekend, so it wasn't the best. When Mamelodi Sundowns is playing at the same time and they're winning, when you guys are not feeling the game, this is when you're meant to win games if you want to go win the league. And if you can take a page from Sundowns, Sundowns wins no matter what is happening, or they try and win no matter what is happening, and there's an intensity. Pirates didn't have an intensity today, and Pirates didn't show that they wanted to win the league. Maybe the focus has shifted to Champions League. Maybe the focus has shifted to Nedbank Cup. Maybe the focus today had been shifted to Sunday's game instead of focusing on the Stellenbosch team. But in any case, draw. Hopefully Pirates can get something from Sundowns on Sunday and then go forward pushing. Before this game, if they had won all the games in hand, they would have been 4 points away from Sundowns. Now it's 6 if they win all the games in hand. So it becomes a little bit harder every single time. So hopefully Coach Jose can come up with something to help them out. I'll see you guys on the next one.